So in the last video, we learned how to add a label to our interface and add constraints so that it appears in the correct position. In this video, we're going to add a button to our app and we're going to configure it so that it changes the background color of the app. So again, we've seen our app. Let's go ahead and run it one more time so we can kind of refresh ourselves what we're doing. I hit Command R to run it. Build succeeds, opens up, and we've got our app that we designed last time. So everything looks great. So Command Tab, Command period to stop it. So let's go ahead and use the object library, which is Option Command L. Notice that it highlights what I've typed in here. I'm going to start typing button. And again, like I did with a label, I'm just going to drag a button onto the screen. I'm going to try to center it here. Notice I've gone back to the any width, any height size class. Okay, and notice once I have the button highlighted, by default, the attributes inspector opens up and it shows the different attributes of my button. So Command Option 3 opens the identity inspector, which has different things. Command Option 4 does the attributes inspector, and Command Option 5 opens up the size inspector. And you can also use the mouse buttons to switch between these two if you want. So I'm going to use, since my button is highlighted, I'm going to use the attributes inspector to change the title of my button from button to change background. When I hit enter, again, notice that I have to kind of drag that. I'm going to just reposition it. So it looks like my button is right pretty much in the middle of my app. Let's go ahead and run it and see what it looks like. And it's not in the middle at all. It's more like it's off to the right-hand side. So we need to actually add some constraints so that it appears in the right spot. So I'm going to go ahead and stop that from running. So now the app has stopped, let's go ahead and set some constraints to keep our button in the right place. When we add constraints for our Learn to Code label, we use the pin button and the align button to do that. I'm going to show you a different way to do it this time. I'm going to click on my button and I'm going to hold the control key down. The control key is to the left of the option key. I'm going to hold the control key down and I'm going to drag from my button to the view. I'm going to drag it towards the bottom of the view. And notice the little window pops up and I'm going to choose the first option, vertical spacing to bottom layout guide. What that means is it's going to set a constraint so that the button always stays this number of pixels away from the bottom, and no matter what the orientation is. Okay, so that's just a bottom layout guide. Now I'm going to use the align control, which is right here, and I'm going to do the same thing I did on my label. I'm going to do the horizontally container, but I'm going to choose use the current canvas value. So that says, okay, keep the button aligned horizontally according to where it is right now. I'm going to add that constraint, and you can see that now there's a constraint that lines up horizontally with the button. But notice that my the line around it is still in orange, so I'm going to go ahead and update the frame. So I'm going to resolve auto layout issues, update frames, and the orange goes away. So now let's go ahead and hit Command R to run it. It's going to run the word collage. And now my change button background is in the center. It looks great. I can click on it and you can see that I'm tapping on it, but nothing happens. So let's go ahead and change it so that something happens when we click our button. Command Tab to get back, Command period to stop it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and open up my document outline. And we are going to go back to my structure. And again, here's the list of everything on here. I'm going to use the assistant editor so that I can see both the storyboard and I can see the code. Here's my change background button in the document outline. You can see it's highlighted. I'm going to control click, just like right clicking on Windows machine. and it shows me all the events that this button can receive. The one we want is touch up inside, which means is the button tapped? And I'm going to go ahead and drag from here onto my controller. And when I let go, it gives me some options. I'm going to fill this in. It's going to be change background is the name of it. You can see that my connection is an action. And for type, I'm going to make it a button. Notice it's a UI button for user interface. The event was touch up inside and the arguments is a sender. When I connect that, that actually creates a connection between my controller and my user interface. Notice that if I hold the mouse over this well here, you can see that the change background button is highlighted. So it shows that these two are connected. So that this action, which is an IB action, IB is short for interface builder action, it's connected to that button right there. So when I tap this button, this code will be run. And again, right now there's no code there, so let's go ahead and add some code. So I'm going to go ahead and type in here view. Okay. View is the object. I'm going to use dot notation, which you've seen before. And I'm going to choose background color. So that's the property I'm going to modify. And equals UI color. And I'm going to make it black color. Okay. So UI color is a library of colors. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. And I'm going to actually change it to the black color. So let's go ahead and run that to see if it works. It's compiling. My opens up. WordCollage app. Now if I tap the change background, it changes the background to black. And again, it's already black, so changing the background color, tapping the button again doesn't do anything. So you can see that now, when I tap it, I get the background color. So let's say I wanted to change to other colors, but I'm not sure what other colors are available to me. I can use the Xcode documentation and reference, which is Shift-Command-0. And that opens up the help, and I can search the documentation to help me find information. It's very easy to type, like if I wanted to find out about, I don't know, an array, I could type in array, and I could see the different array information. But I do want UI color, and it gives me the information on UI color. Notice that I have over here a whole list of preset colors: black, dark gray, gray, red, etc., etc. So by using the help feature, I can see a lot of information about what I'm trying to do. And hopefully as you go through this course, you will use this documentation a lot because there's some great information here. Okay, so now in this video, we have successfully added a button, we've modified the code so it does something, and we've created an action and a link from our user interface to our controller to make something happen. So in the next video, we'll actually create 2 more buttons to change the background to different colors.